Stories you care about.
WLBB, Carrollton, News Talk, 1330, FM 106.3.
Well, good Wednesday morning. All right, Wednesday morning. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice program here on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3. I am Colin Worthington. Appreciate you tuning in. And a special good morning to our friends in the friendly city of Bowdon. I hope you're tuning in this morning to see our second candidate for the seat of mayor. Bowden. Early voting is going on for that election right now until Friday of this week. You get to do that at the Carroll County Elections Office here in Carrollton, though, even if you're from Bowden. Or you can wait until Tuesday and go to your polling place and cast your ballot there. I know some people like to do that as well. So plenty of opportunity to cast your ballot. Yesterday we did have Jim Chafin. He is the mayor of Bowden on the program. If you missed that, I do encourage you to go back and call it up on the Facebook page, or you can visit our website, newstalk1330.com. There's a podcast there. But this morning, we introduce you to his challenger. His name is Logan Jackson. He was kind enough to mosey up north here to talk with us about his campaign. So good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
I may have to get you to get a little bit closer to that microphone, and hopefully that doesn't mess up Joel's camera work there.
Good morning.
But, yeah, good morning. And again, thank you for coming out.
Born and raised in Bowden. Been there for 40 years. I graduated from Bowden High School in '98. I just love the town. I did, venture off for a couple years. I lived in Virginia for 7 years as I got my undergrad at Liberty University. Then moved back.
Is that Radford?
Liberty is in Lynchburg.
In Lynchburg,
so
okay, right.
It was, founded by Dr. Jerry Falwell. I was there from 2007 to 2012. I moved back while working on my master's degree from the University of Phoenix in public administration. And then I got a position out in Dallas, Texas, where I lived for 3 years, and then moved back in 2016. So I say Bowden's home. I mean, I move away, but I always say Bowden calls you back. It's just, you can't find the people anywhere else except for in Bowden. They're friendly, they're great. If you need help, just give them a call. I'm out in the city every day. You can find me at Bowden Coffee Roasters, having a little coffee or something with friends, or just hanging out there daily. But also, I'm involved in the community. I love getting involved. I'm part of the athletic boosters, help with the band boosters. So on Friday nights, you can find me helping with athletics, and then you can find me cooking hot dogs and hamburgers for our band. So I just, that's a little bit about me. I mean, again, I have a master's, my master's degree is in public administration. So that is something that kind of has swayed me.
I was going to say, how do you? Maybe an easy question. How do you see that helping you? Your post regular college education. How do you see that helping you as far if you were to be mayor?
Okay. Well, while I haven't actually had elected office, I've never ran for office, and never had a seat as a councilman or anything elected. I have worked on many campaigns, from mayors up to the president. But I also have a master's in public administration, and with that, it helps me to understand budgets. It helps me understand and write policies, so I can read and understand policies as it is written. And a lot of things that we do at a city level actually have state statutes that we have to abide by. And those things, I think, will help me to understand how to make the city of Bowden a better place to live, and to increase its industries, along with bringing more people in. I think that a master's, that degree showed me different resources that is offered and that is out there for cities to use. And while most people who get a master's degree in public administration go on to do like city managers or development or economic development, my concentration was in economic development. So I do look at the bigger picture and look overall at how we can improve, not only bringing businesses in, but life in the city of Bowden. We have a great quality of life now, but who says we can't make it better?
Talk about previous campaigns you've worked. Who were those?
I helped run David Pennington for governor. Here in Georgia, I've also helped do Hembrick when he ran for Senate against, and so that was years ago, against Dugan. I've also did, not here locally, but in Virginia, I ran Bob Goodlack's, Robert Hertz. I helped with John McCain's. I've helped with, so it's just, and then there I also helped with the mayor. Her name was Joan Foster, who was, a female mayor who I admire. She was actually something that I looked up to. She took what she had. Sometimes she made lemonade out of lemons. She didn't have much. I mean, it was a bigger city than Bowden, 77,000. So it's a little bit bigger, I think, maybe than Carrollton. I'm not for sure the population of Carrollton. But they had 5 universities. So as her assistant, I oversaw all the colleges and actually met the college students. And we started a cap and gown program in that city. And and I also helped her start a mayor's youth council, which is something that I would love to bring to the city of Bowden. I think getting our youth more involved, getting them more interested in the day-to-day run-ins and politics, it helps them to understand why it is important to vote. Because voting is down across the board. And getting people involved and making them understand, allowing them to understand what goes on and how things happen and why they happen and for what reason it happens is one way to get them to start voting and get more involved.
Logan Jackson, challenger actually to the incumbent for the mayor of the city of Bowden. LBB Facebook page. You can post them up there, and I'll take a look at them during the break. Or you can call us at 678-601-8255. Steve Gradick likes it when you do call. 678-601-8255. That's 678-601-TALK. Questions and comments. We'll take those this morning. So, how do you get to Liberty? What drove you to? Because it's not it's not a traditional college.
It is not. It's what drove me to Liberty was I was looking for I wanted a Christian-based education. So I started here on the online program, but just kept praying through it. I wanted my faith because my faith is the most important part of my life. Is my faith, and I wanted something that was faith-based. So what drove me to Liberty was I just kept praying, and then listening to Dr. Falwell speak and being able to. I went and visited the school, and I saw the love. And it's a different. If you've never been to Liberty, it's a different than any other university out there. You can just feel the presence of Christ on the campus. The people will pray with you. They'll just be praying in the courtyard, and their programs are, for me, one of the best. I mean, I got taught by, I was taught by, at that point it would have been. Romney would come and speak to our classes. We also had the governor at that time I forgot his name, but he was a Democrat. So they brought in everybody. So you got a world-rounded education. They tried to make that well-rounded, and for that, I was taught how to look at things not only from the worldview but also from the Christian view to make sure that the Christian view is for me the most important view for me. It's how to look at things as they are, and take that and just. Use that as your guide. But while I was there, I was also a PR major. I was a public relations major there. So in PR, I actually founded the university's, and I'm not sure if it's still running, but at that time, I actually founded the university's PR firm. We had seven clients.
They could use one now, couldn't they?
Yeah, and that's why it's funny you say that because I actually sent an email to the PR teacher, and I'm like, so would you guys like me to come back and help with that? And she just starts laughing at me, but I didn't
hang up though.
No, she didn't. She was all fun and games and was hilarious. She goes, only you would email me or call me and ask that question, but. I founded that, and with that, we first did almost all the organizations online. I mean, on campus. So SGA, I started with SGA, and my budget, SGA would pay us roughly, I think we started with $5,000 a year, and we did all of SGA stuff. Plus, then we went to other things, and then I was able to actually start looking at other businesses and going out and doing different reports for them, finding out how they can get more customers in. And with that, we were able to get more of the public involved in the university.
In this first segment, hope you get a chance to learn who Logan Jackson is a little bit. We'll take our first break and come back and talk more about local things and local issues, if we can discuss some of those, and maybe how you'd react to certain situations for the city of Bowden. Again, questions and comments, feel free to call 678-601-8255, 678-601-TALK, or you can post your comments and questions on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, as we are streaming video live on that page right now. We'll come back in about 2 minutes. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3.
At Oak Mountain Academy, our daily schedule includes convocation, prayer, and the Pledge of Allegiance. By doing so, we build a family-like community where all students grow and flourish and personal faith is encouraged. Through community service and a historical approach to biblical study, our students are taught the value of the warrior way: honesty, respect, and responsibility. Oak Mountain Academy. We are a family creating legacies. To learn more, visit oakmountain.us.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama, because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes a hospital great has changed. It's not how many beds we have. It's how well we care for the neighbors who need them. Delivering the right care to every patient, every time, is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
841, welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice Program, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3. And this morning we are streaming live on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. I got to talking during the break, and I didn't peek to see if we had any questions or comments. I'll try and do that as I set you up for this question. You put out a campaign video maybe last night or the night before, and I saw you put it on your campaign page. Mm-hmm. And the key word, there's a buzzword that I always catch, and it's change. Bowden needs change. What does that mean?
Well, change, a lot of people think that's a bad word. But change, for me, is to think outside the box. A lot of times we tend to look inside our boxes, and we think inside the boxes. But I think we need to look outside the box on ways to get industry in town, ways to get more businesses in our downtown locations. Look at, because right now, I can just tell you right now, for change, right now, the city is changing. Years ago, our average age was in their 60s. Looking now, this dropped down to their 40s. 42, I think, is the average age of Bowden. So,
wow.
So there's already a change happening. And with that, you need to look at how do we bring in more people? What else needs to happen for change? Or maybe not, we don't call it change. Maybe we look at is evolving into the next state of the city of Bowden. Because as you look at the history of Bowden, Bowden has evolved over time. And I think it is now time to take Bowden to our next level. We are, I think, one of the best cities in Georgia. Of course, I'm a little biased to that, but in Bowden, we have everything. It's historic. We're actually the third oldest city in Carroll County. I don't know if people realize that. We're the third oldest city behind Carrollton and Villa Rica.
And it had a different name before Bowden, right?
I think it was always Bowden.
Was it always? Okay. I thought it was named after, was it? Okay.
It was named after the senator. It was actually named after a senator
right.
of Alabama, which was last name was Bowden. But, and I think that is one of our history. I mean, we have, if you look at our textile there, textiles was huge in the city of Bowden. And the college, we have, a lot of people don't understand that Bowden, the University of West Georgia was actually in the city of Bowden before. It was moved. There's actually, if you've never been to the city of Bowden, there's a bell tower that is right there. We have the bell, and I love sitting and talking with a lot of our older people because they tell you the rich history that Bowden has. And I want to keep that up. So the change sometimes is not really change, but moving our history to our present, allowing what we were to what we are. Mm-hmm. And I think people forget that. I think that, a lot of people say that we were a great textile city. No, we still are a great textile city. A lot of people don't understand, but Jimmy Carter used to come to Bowden to get his suits. So, we used to make suits, for the President of the United States. And that, for me, is something that, I think is worth making sure we don't forget. And right now we still have, one of our textiles is still going. It's BBI. They make our military uniforms. And they're great. That's only one of two industries in the country. We had one in Bowden and the one in California. You did give me that stat. It was surprising to me. We were going to say the median age or the average age? The average age. The average age. I apologize. The average age is 42.
You might have said average, and I forgot.
But it used to be.
Also, that is surprising to me. But do you feel like, I guess, as you're preparing for future, because you're talking about the future of Bowden and things changing, do you think you're going to be taking a lot of those people kicking and screaming into that, or do you think that everybody's open to that? Well, what I would do is, there's going to be kicking and screaming no matter, in everything. I think that,
you see that in churches where people, want to do things, kicking and screaming, but you know what? That's their voice and that's their opinion, and their voice and their opinion should be heard. But what I would do as mayor is I would hold, and I want to hold, more town hall meetings. It may just be me sitting there to listen to my residents, but you know what? That's what I'm going to do. Starting out, I want to hear comments from the residents. They're my boss. And if they don't tell me what they see or how they see the city going, then I can't do anything. My hands are tied. I work for them, and I think that's what people forget is the mayor and council work for you as the residents, not the other way around. We have to have their voices heard. And I think allowing their voices to be heard, no matter what it is, no matter if it's, if it's something bad about it, we can't change if we don't know what's wrong. So if we have issues in the city of Bowden that need to be fixed, we can't change that unless the city council hears about that.
Logan Jackson is challenging the incumbent, Jim Chafin, for mayor of the city of Bowden. We do have a phone call.
Okay.
I'll go through this process, and hopefully I do it correctly. Good morning. You're on the Community Voice. Hey, good morning. You're on the Community Voice. Try
Good
again.
morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Can you hear her?
I can't.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and talk, please.
Yes. I want to know his beliefs on education, what he thinks about education, bringing education back to Bowden.
As far as bringing education back to
for
Bowden,
schools, bringing more teachers in, what is his views? How does he feel about it?
Well, I think that, I feel that's very important. Education is very important, but unfortunately the city of Bowden doesn't have a private school system, so we rely on our counties. But I think what we could do, what the city can do as the leaders of the city is, we can show our teachers in the city how much we appreciate them. While it is, again, based on the county and the county would do the hiring, I think that it's important, again, like I said, is to make sure that they are shown how much they're appreciated to be teaching in the community and how much our kids matter to us. And I think that's going to be the first and most important thing is to show appreciation for our teachers, principals, educators, janitors, bus drivers. No matter what you do in our education system, they need to be shown that they're appreciated, wanted, and they're loved.
ma'am, do you have a follow-up question?
Yes. With the teachers, the pay raises, did you feel like the community would sit down with you and talk about the pay raises for the teachers to bring more teachers back into Bowden so the education will be more productive for the kids that's coming into the community?
Well, again, ma'am, I think that's going to be left up to Mr. Coward, our community, our superintendent of the county, because Bowden, again, is not like Carrollton. We do not have our own board of education or our own superintendent. So
And even that wouldn't be a city thing for the city school system here. It's separate.
It would be, again, we have to rely on our education. City and education are divided because they're separate. So our board of educators would be the ones who would actually do the raises. Now, do I think our teachers need raises? Yes. Do I think, but as mayor and council, I would have no authority to have anything over that.
Thank you, ma'am, for calling in.
Okay, one more question.
Okay.
Do you have any experience in teaching?
I do, actually. I have 2 years of teaching. I actually teach for a ESL company. It's called VIP Kid. I've been teaching there for 2 years. I actually teach English as a second language. Love my kids. I also teach another source called Out School. It's actually for homeschoolers. I teach government economics, and I teach a cooking class. I've been doing that for about a year.
Okay, then. All right, then. Well, I'll be there next week for the runoff. I want to see what's going on with your other mate.
All right,
But right now, you have my vote.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for tuning in this morning. That call leads me to this question. What do you think is the role of the mayor?
Well,
And the responsibility for the city of Bowden, obviously a different charter.
well, yeah, I mean, and I actually have our charter. I think the role of the mayor, and I will echo the mayor now, Mayor Chafin, as he was on yesterday. The role of the mayor is to preside over the meetings. So we would, we can call meetings, you can preside over the meetings, but also I think there's more of a role. I think the role of the mayor is leadership. The role of mayor, as mayor, people look to you for your leadership. They look to you to see how the city should go. They look to you for questioning. And actually, it's funny that you asked that question because I actually have our charter in front of us. I brought our charter, and it says, and I will read this. This is from Section 2, Article 27 of the powers of the mayor. It says, the mayor shall see that all ordinances, resolutions, and the rules of the city are faithfully executed and enforced. He shall exercise a general supervision and jurisdiction over officers of the city and see that such officers faithfully discharge the duties required to them by code. This is from the code of Section 2, Article 2 of the Charter of the City of Bowden. So for me, that tells me that I need to make sure that I am enforcing our ordinances, our codes, and making sure those that are in charge of doing that are doing it faithfully. And the City of Bowden has been without a codes officer for, I think about 2 years now.
Is that a financial thing?
Well, no, they passed it in June. They passed the budget in June to hire somebody. They have just now in late October started doing interviews. Why has that happened? I'm not sure. Because under that, when you call the city, you get told, well, we can't do anything about that. We don't have a codes officer. Well, this was passed in June. We are now in October. You didn't start interviews till now. So, with that as mayor, he should have been pushing this. Our mayor should have been pushing for a codes officer. We can't do anything without a codes officer because that's very important for the functioning and the running of your city.
It is 8:51. Let me ask you this question before we do take our break. Okay. I did bring this up to the mayor yesterday. You had posted a video about 2 weeks ago. A video where you suggested that a gentleman who works for the city was driving a city vehicle and went in to purchase beer. And got back in his vehicle, and I'm assuming left. You posted that about 2 weeks ago. Why did you post that video?
Well, my campaign is transparency. If I can't be transparent to my officers, people in the city of Bowden know this is happening. They've reported to the city manager numbers of times because I've actually heard from residents in the city. I posted that, and I tried to get a meeting with the city manager and the city officers and the city officials actually, and I was told no. I said, this is very important. I want to make it clear. I actually tried to, and with that, the mayor said that, it only happened once. It's actually been happening for years, Colin. There are numbers of people that have pulled me aside during this campaign. I didn't know some of the things that had been going on. And I posted it not to get that person in trouble. That person is a hardworking employee for the city of Bowden. I posted it because... And if you read my post, I said, this is a failure of our leadership. And I say that, not leadership, but not in council, but I think as a whole, we've allowed it to keep going on. And it needs to, be stopped. And I think...
In that video, you did say it was 2 weeks. It happened 2 weeks prior from the point you released it, when you posted it. So that would have happened in September?
I posted it...
in October. It was early October you posted it.
I thought, okay. Okay.
So I would say it was sometime in September
so it's not mid-September,
when it happened.
yes.
Well, the mayor talked about that video, and he suggested that was actually a year prior when it happened, and they had already resolved it.
Okay. Yeah, well, I can't, the mayor's going to believe what he wants to believe and will say what he believes. I had the video on my phone. It was so I can't, there's no way to prove it. I mean, I tried to prove it. They're not going to listen to me. They're not going to speak to me. They have refused to speak to me regarding this video. They refused to me. This is not the only video out there. I've seen 6 or 7 videos, and it's many other people, other city officials in the city vehicles doing this. So it's not just one thing. There's only one person who will speak to me in the city, and that is Miss Jan Johnson. She's the only council person who will speak to me. So I've tried to reveal this, and don't take my word for it. It's actually on my Facebook page, Jackson for Mayor. You can go in there and see the emails where I sent to the city manager and to the council members who refused to speak to me and told me that I should bring it before the council at a meeting. These are things I don't want to bring before council because it's on the record.
8:54. We'll take our final break. We'll go back with about 3 minutes. We'll give you that time to give your big stump speech and tell us everything that you want to make sure that we know about you and your campaign. We'll take our final break right now. Community Voice brought to you by Oak Mountain Academy and Tanner Health System on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes a hospital great has changed. It's not how many beds we have. It's how well we care for the neighbors who need them. Delivering the right care to every patient, every time is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
Oak Mountain Academy has offered a challenging college preparatory education for over 50 years. With over 500 graduates, we have maintained a 100% college acceptance rate. Over 90% of our students earn acceptance to their first choice of college or university, and over the past 5 years, our students have earned over $10 million in scholarship offers. Our students are creating a legacy. Come, be a part of our family and create your own legacy today. To learn more, visit us at oakmountain.us.
All right, 8:56. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice Program, News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, and this morning streaming live on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. Thanks to Joel Brock this morning for handling the camera duties, and of course Steve Gradick and his magic fingers pushing all the buttons in the other room for us this morning. Do have a little less than 4 minutes, and I think about this a little bit. Does Bowden have recycling? Do they recycle?
We do.
Okay. Is it for everybody? Is it for only? I mean, are multi-family housing?
I know
involved?
all residents have a choice to recycle. It's not mandated, but I know a lot of people who do. Like it runs every other Thursday. And I know most people in my area do recycle.
Okay. If for whatever reason you don't win this election, I mean, do you just drop out of the picture? Do you still try to be involved in the city?
No, I mean, I will be as involved as much as the city council and mayor allow me to be. I would love to be on some of the boards. I think that, a different aspect, because, you do need different people on there. I mean, it's great to have different people, and I think I do bring different views from different cities that I've been able to work with and work in to the city of Bowden, because, it's all about making Bowden better. It's all about making it a better place to live, a better place to come do business. It's about brand and industries. And I think that is the key point. And I want to say that is the most important thing that faces Bowden now is we don't have industry. I listened to a couple of your people talk about the recession. Well, I don't think the recession ever hit Bowden. I think what happened is we lost our textiles and our rubber plant there in the city of Bowden, Carlisle's. That was our biggest loss. I mean, if we have the space, and we would love to have people. So I think for me, if I were to be elected on November 6th, I would be out looking to get industry to Bowden. I want to go face to face, and I think that's the way you have to do it today in communities, because there are so many communities fighting for these industries that you have to look at what is going to set you apart from other small towns or other communities.
Well, what is going to set Bowden apart?
For me, again, I think it's that small town feel. I mean, we have a big heart in a small town. I mean, we actually are able to pull employment from the city of Bowden, from the Tallapoosa area, from Alabama, because we're so close to Alabama. We're 2 miles from Alabama. So we have the employees. We have that employee base there. You could put a plant in there that runs 3 shifts and easily hire 300 or 400 people that would be able to run that plant.
All right, it's Tuesday, November 5th. It is 6:59. We got 50 seconds for me to go in and vote. I'm a good 2 miles away from the polling place, and I'm talking to you and Jim, trying to get your vote. What are you telling me for that last 30 seconds before I go in and vote to convince me to cast my ballot your way?
I would tell you that, I look at the bigger picture. I look at the vision, because I think that if you only look at what happens today or tomorrow, then you don't see the bigger picture. Like, you need to look at, 5 years down the plan. Like, we have our comprehensive plans. We need to look at that not only by that, we also need to look at it financially. How are we going to keep Bowden in a financial great shape to keep doing what it's doing? And I also would say that, I do come with experience, working with different mayors. I mean, I have run, but I do have that experience running with different mayors and creating and establishing new things. But the one thing I would tell you is that you will see me. You will see me out in the road. If you can't contact me, you'll have my cell phone number, my email address, and my home number. If you need me, call me. I will meet you anywhere you need me to meet you, and I'm willing to talk with you. It doesn't matter.
City of Bowden, Logan Jackson wants to be your mayor. He was our guest this morning on the Community Voice program. He's challenging the incumbent, Jim Chafin. Both of these gentlemen will be on the ballots in Bowden this week is early voting, and then the election day is actually next Tuesday. So I hope you had heard everything you needed from this candidate this morning. Again, we'll post this on the newstalk1330.com website, also the Facebook page if you want to go back if you missed any of it. I appreciate you tuning in this morning. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy, News Talk 1330 FM 106.3.